And I'm going to tell you, look, I'm going to tell you another story about that. In the hall, you're going to see this thing with Cole coming up. And last year in the playoffs with Carolina, I met him in the hall, or he met me in the hall. I think this is it here. Yeah. He met me in the hall, and he said to me, are you going to have the guts to say to my face what you say on TV? And I said, yeah, about 6 inches from his face, you're a gutless, backstabbing little, and I can't say what I call him.
I was a young kid growing up in Vancouver who played hockey, and ESPN NHL 2K5 on the original Xbox was a staple of my adolescence. This game might actually be better than NHL 21. Like, seriously, can we bring the skills competition back? It's 2021, for goodness sakes, and it had the sick ESPN theme music in the menus. I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons, but it's the main reason I'm happy to see hockey's going to be back on ESPN. And being from Vancouver, my team of choice was of course the Canucks. At the time, they had legends like Marcus Naslund, Brendan Morrison, Matthias Olin, and Sammy Salo. Also, the Sedin twins in year 5 were on the Canucks' second line. And guess who was on their right wing? That's right, Matt Cooke, the man of the hour. At the time, I actually liked Cooke. He'd only received 1 suspension in 2004, getting 2 games for spearing Matt Johnson of the Wild. I couldn't find any video of the incident, unfortunately, but the odd suspension does happen to guys who play on the edge like Cooke, right? Then I saw this hit on Mark Savard and thought to myself, wow, this guy's a real scumbag.
This guy.
Pucks. Before we take a deep dive into Cooke's career, we need to go back where it all started, Cooke's birthplace in Belleville, Ontario. He picked up hockey pretty quickly, like most Canadian kids, and played in the Quebec International Pee Wee Tournament in 1992 with Quint Minor Hockey out of Belleville, which showcased the best talented 11 to 12-year-old hockey players in the world. Many future Hall of Famers at the time like Guy Lafleur, Marcel Dion, Mario Lemieux, and Wayne Gretzky played in the tournament, to name a few. My Pee Wee team actually almost played in the tournament, not a big deal. Cooke would then, like most NHLers, have a productive junior career for years to follow, playing Junior A first in the Met JHL for the Wellington Dukes, and then upgrading to the OHL, where he played for the Windsor Spitfires in Major Junior. His best season is where he put up 95 points in 65 games, putting him 10th in the league with 146 penalty minutes to boot. I believe these were the first warning signs Cooke wasn't exactly a clean player, and why teams might have overlooked him in the draft. He did have a successful enough of a junior career, though, to play for the 1998 Canadian World Junior team, who finished 8th. Jesus, a silver medal is disappointing for Canada in this tournament. I can't imagine how the media reacted to this team not even getting out of the first round of the round robin. Thankfully for them, social media didn't exist at the time. Anyways, Cooke played for that World Junior team in his last year of eligibility while on the Kingston Frontenacs, which means we were just 1 year away from seeing Avery and Cooke on the same team. If you don't know much about Avery, I made a video about him earlier, which I'll link in the description, but these two alone could have easily broken most penalty minutes in OHL history. In '97, Cooke got picked 144th overall in the 6th round by the Vancouver Canucks. This was a draft that featured all-time greats like Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Roberto Luongo, and Marian Hossa. He split his first couple seasons pro between the Syracuse Crunch and Vancouver Canucks before playing full-time for the Canucks in the 2000 NHL season. Cooke was never a profound goal or point producer at any point of his career. His most points was 42 in the 02-03 season, and his most goals was with the Pens in the 11-12 season with 19. This explains why Cooke played the way he did. Guys who can't produce statistically at the NHL level need to do things like throw the body around, get into fights, or be extra good on the defensive side of the puck. Myself and many fans believe Cooke, though, crossed the line of playing on the edge to intentionally trying to injure his opponents on any given night. That's why he's had such a long rap sheet, and it would probably be longer if he played in today's NHL. I think what really benefited Cooke was that he played in an era where enforcers were getting sent to the minors for grinders and depth scoring, so he didn't have to deal with as many guys who genuinely wanted to kill him. And enforcing NHL player safety wasn't as prevalent back then as it is today. I'll divide Cooke's dirty plays into two categories, the ones he got suspended for and the ones he didn't. And I'll probably miss out on a few because it feels like there's too many to count. I said before I couldn't find any footage of this incident, so we can't analyze it. Sorry. Johnson wasn't injured, though. As you can see, Cooke blindsides Walker and makes an effort to have Walker's head as the main point of contact. Walker has to miss a month and didn't fully recover from post-concussion symptoms. This one's another blindside hit, but I think what really took it over the edge was the fact Cooke finishes with his elbow at the end of the check. Anisimov was not injured. Bladen checked the numbers towards Tyudin. His stick is literally in the air and doesn't attempt to play the puck whatsoever, plus he leaves his feet. Only a little bit of a month over the Tyudin incident, he deliberately flies his elbow out like a chicken wing towards Ryan McDonough's dome. After the suspension, Cooke went on to tell the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, "I realize and understand more so now than ever that I need to change. That's what I wanted my message to be." After he said he was a changed man and more dirty plays in between that he didn't get suspended for, Cooke blatantly takes about 4 to 5 strides to Barry just to knee him. This was truly unbelievable when it happened because knee-on-knees are usually bang-bang plays, but Cooke literally went out of his way to make this play happen. This at the time is what many experts believe to be the turning table of this series, as it was essentially the Avalanche's best D-man at the time in exchange for a bottom 6 forward in Cooke. The Wild ended up winning the series in 7. There are also countless instances of Cooke not getting suspended for plays and hits he most likely would have gotten games for if he played in the NHL today. These are plays where either Cooke got a minor penalty, a match penalty, or no penalty with 0 additional disciplinary action. If you think Tom Wilson gets sussied a lot, he'd have nothing on Matt Cooke. February 16th, 2008, Cooke runs Edmonton's Matthew Roy right in the numbers. Cooke then gets traded to Washington and leads with an elbow on Vincent Lecavalier on April 3rd, 2008. This was Lecavalier's last All-Star season, and last season over 70 points. He was only 27. November 29th, 2009, this late-ass hit on Parise about 5 seconds after he dumps the puck in, just as the Devil's Gate opens. Another knee-on-knee on Atlanta's Zach Bogosian as he's carrying the puck out of his zone on March 16th, 2009. What a surprise, another knee-on-knee on Carolina's Eric Cole on May 18th, 2009. Stanley Cup Finals 2009, Matt Cooke kicks Chris Osgood in the head when he's tied up with Lidstrom and doesn't get a penalty for it. Next season, February 6, 2010, Cooke cross-checks Montreal's Andre Markov going into the corner, and he could have easily twisted his ankle on this play. No penalty awarded. Then, a month later, Matt Cooke's infamous elbow to the head on Mark Savard, which caused so much controversy in the hockey world, the NHL had to start taking headshots seriously. Who knew? Because of how much controversy surrounded the play, I'm going to do a deep analysis of it. Not only was Cooke not given a penalty after this cheap shot, but had no supplemental disciplinary action taken afterwards. Colin Campbell, Department of Player Safety at the time, had an email leaked that he sent to Mike Milbury about his thought process behind his decision. He says in this email, "I'm sorry to Boston, but someone should teach that young man something about keeping his head up. Hitting is a vital aspect to everything our game is about, and we may be adjusting it too much if we're not careful." And given to the masses, Canada certainly loved Rick Smash Nash running everyone in the Olympics.
Okay.
Alright, Colin. Because Mark Savard's head being down for a split second is the reason why Cooke sent the flying elbow right at Savard's dome. Call me soft, but any reasonable player would have lifted Savard's stick in the situation, or aimed for any other part of his body besides his head. Savard was never the same after this hit, and his career came to an end only being able to play 25 games the year after, then retiring. And Mark Savard was no scrub. He finished with 706 points in 807 games, and was a two-time All-Star. He also would have been a Cup winner if Cooke never injured him, and potentially could have been a Hall of Famer if he had the chance to play over 1,000 games, but he didn't. October 11th, 2010, Cooke interferes with Islanders goalie Rick DiPietro, not once, not twice, but 3 times. November 26, 2010, Erik Karlsson gets sandwiched by Cooke on this play, and even though it was a body hit, it was late. December 21st, 2010, Matt Cooke elbows Keith Yandel with the primary point of contact being the head. I could definitely see this one being a suspension today. Surprise, surprise, Evander Kane takes an elbow from Matt Cooke December 28th, 2010, directly to the head. No penalty. This play, a scrum starts because of a cross-check from Cooke, and then he sucker punches Buffalo's Steve Montador with a referee in between on February 4th, 2011. Yet another knee-on-knee on Ovechkin in 2011. At least this one was a bang-bang play. Pretty scummy though nonetheless. This happened 2 days after the Montador incident. Cooke gets another player right in the numbers June 2nd, 2013, this time against Bruins fan favorite Adam McQuaid. Cooke targets Karlsson again, injuring his Achilles tendon with his skate February 12th, 2013. This probably wasn't good for Karlsson's injured heel 4 years later in that playoff run. Sorry, Sounders fans. There are many more instances of these plays happening in Cooke's career, which earned him the reputation of one of NHL's biggest pests. It's pretty amazing when Cooke retired on his own terms in 2015, with over 1,000 games played, when so many fans and analysts called for his banning from the league. I know old-time hockey players and fans might not think some of these plays were that serious, but everything's relative, and with all the new research on concussions, CTE, and wanting to lower player injuries, I think Cooke should have gotten suspended more and lost even more money in his career. Nowadays, it's said that Cooke and his wife post-retirement are back where it all started in Vancouver, and if I were walking by Stanley Park or Kitsilano Beach or anywhere in Vancouver, and I somehow ran into Matt Cooke, I wouldn't call him a rat, a cheap shotter, or a snake. Because one, he's probably got a couple screws loose and would come at me with a flying knee. But instead, I'd ask him if he was a prisoner of the moment. If he thought his only way to play professional hockey was to play the way he did, or even if coaches told him to target guys behind closed doors. Cooke actually started a foundation with his wife intended to help struggling families, but unfortunately, whatever Matt Cooke does, he'll only be remembered for his play on the ice. Like, no matter how much Sean Avery supports gay rights, nobody's gonna forget about this line.
I just wanted to comment on how it's become like a common thing in the NHL for guys to fall in love with my sloppy seconds. I don't know what that's about, but enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Thank you, Jackson.
I skipped school.
Hey, you got a good excuse. Maybe Dad can write you a note.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Congratulations.